Another day, more rain, absolutely peeing it down. The dog's got a coat on because he's having a wee. Because my fiance, Lauren, she had a massive go at me because Ottie, the dog's name is, came in wet last time we did one of these. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a daily thing. Obviously, I do walk the dog multiple times a day. It's definitely going to be a shorter walk this time. Noticed last time I didn't look at the camera enough, so we're going to look at the camera a little bit more. But again, if you enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. This one's going to be a smaller walk. Last time we were out for about half an hour all in. I know the video was only 10 minutes long. We'll go down here. Car knots. But this time's going to be, got a spin, the dog tangled me. It's going to be a bit shorter, maybe you're looking at about 5 minutes. Mainly because the walk will be about 10-15 minutes, so obviously with editing or what have you, it's going to be less. But yeah, this is a man and about a dog. Man with a dog, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to discuss Arsenal, discuss football. What's on our mind? I watched the overlap today. If you enjoyed that, good. I'm a bit annoyed though. Roy Keane annoys me. Not because he annoys me in general, I find him quite funny. I quite like Roy Keane, but in the overlap, he decided to say that Arsenal were rubbish against City and complain about the fact that teams usually could win with 10 men. Well, yeah, they could, but not against the best team, arguably, of Premier League history. So the fact we kept it at a draw is really respectable. Anyway, that ramblings can finish. I wanted to discuss and take the time today to discuss the Arsenal Bolton game. Those of you who don't know, Arsenal played yesterday with a bunch of kids. Great little result, 5-1. Kai scored, Ethan and Waneri, another bridge. Dog phobia of bridges. So, she has to be picked up. Hello. Oh, red eyes on camera. Wow. So, we won 5-1. Kai scored. Ethan and Waneri got 2. What else happened? Who else scored for us? Can't remember. Sterling got 1. That's 4. Who scored the 5th? My mind's gone blank. Declan Rice outside the box, first goal. Very good performance from the youngsters. Showed some squad depth. Something we've been lacking. Granted, I don't know if any of these players, the youngsters, obviously Miles Lewis-Skelly went off with an injury. That's unfortunate. I don't know if any of those youngsters are going to be able to play in the Premier League. Maybe Ethan and Waneri. He looked ready. We did have a big centre-back, brute of a guy, called Curry. Now, he looked massive. 6 foot something. And he was like 16 or something in Curry. And up front, he looked like an absolute brick shithouse. So, that's interesting. I'm not sure what his on the ball ability would compare to like proper Premier League players, but the first start, yeah, promising. So Arsenal did the job, got the 5-1 result. Very good. Now that's all well and good, really good result. Arsenal doing well. Obviously for me that's great. Preston in the next group stage. For those of you who don't know, I live up north, so I'll be able to go to that one hopefully, which is a nice change. We don't usually get to go to games much when you live up north as an Arsenal fan. I am originally from down south. I'm not going to explain that now, can't be bothered to be honest, but it's nice when you get a game in the Manchester area just to get down to the Arsenal, go and watch it. It's unfortunate Bolton weren't at Bolton, and it was midweek, so I have work, so I couldn't really go to that. I did look at getting time off. All in all, it would have cost about £300. The ticket was only 20 quid, but train back and forth. I can drive, but then you've got parking in London to contend with. But yeah, £300, get a train, have a hotel, train back, food obviously. So that's unfortunate, but I do sometimes go to the Emirates for a weekend game. when you can either do the journey in one, or you can enjoy London. For those of you who can't see, it's absolutely pissing down, worse than it was. So on our way back, but the path we're on started to flood. Anyway, yeah, football. What's going on at the moment? So the result doesn't mean much. It's a Carabao Cup. Don't really care about it. And as I said in yesterday's little vlog rant, whatever you want to call it, I don't care about it. That's bad, innit? Just don't give a monkeys about the Carabao Cup at all. So it's nice to be through. Bolton did well to get a goal. Good finish, actually. Obviously against our 16-year-old keeper. Bullying kids, really. But yeah, I mean, good result. Positive result. All in. The world of football, though. The overlaps come out. More videos saying, oh, Arsenal cheated. Paul Scholes, absolute bell end. Oh, Arsenal cheated. Let's call it what it is. We didn't cheat. Teams have been doing that to us for years. Just because we do it once and Arsenal get a positive result. It's because Arsenal get a positive result, who United notoriously hate. All the little United pundits. Ooh, they're cheating. Shut up. Shut up and bore off. No one cares. If United got that result, I tell you, they'd be waxing lyrical. We might even make a DVD about it after their last 13 years since Ferguson's left. It's always next summer, always next transfer window with them. Why not just appreciate what a team can do now? One of the only teams who can stand up to City other than Liverpool in the country. So yeah, I mean, my hair's a bit of a mess. Dog's in now, got inside. But too wet out there, really. So we came in after a while. It's actually calmed down raining. But we gave the dog a walk. Got all that sorted on my lunch break. Where was I? So we were discussing Paul Scholes and the overlap fang zone, whatever. That is what it is. That's clickbait media, innit? Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. They're just there to get headlines, get views for their video or whatever. Now, whilst I disagree with the statements that were made, I can sort of accept it. One thing that I can't accept, and this is just something that I see across the media, and it's not just Arsenal, don't get me wrong, but there are certain clubs that I do think that the media have on high status, so that being Man City. You also see it quite a lot with United. No matter what United do, they could be horrendous for ages, the media teams get up. So that's just how it is. That's the football consensus within England, and that's fine. But the issue we have, especially with Man City, is when there are poignant questions going out to the manager, Pep Guardiola, such as, did Arsenal target Rodri? Well, no. He got injured off the ball. Yes, there was the incident with Kai Havertz in the first 3 seconds, but Rodri blocks his path. He goes towards it. Does he raise an elbow? Yes, because if you're getting blocked, you're going to. Does he hit him in the head? Probably not. That's my honest opinion. If it was any higher, could it have been a red card? Absolutely. Because it could be violent conduct. But it wasn't. They're the facts. Doing that does not then quantify, as the dog's come and sat down, here we go, does not quantify targeting a player. Imagine what would have to happen to Bukayo Saka for Mikel Arteta to be given that question. And he has in the past, after the Palace game, for example, about 3 or 4 years ago, when Milenkovic went through the back of him, off the ball, just kicked him. And it does happen. Teams do target other players, don't get me wrong. But the fact that City have lost their best, maybe second best player, off the ball in an incident, and then they've been asked if they targeted him. What type of bias, agenda-driven media do you need for that to be a question? That shouldn't even be brought up. It could be something like, Rodri got involved in an off-the-ball incident. Minimal contact was made. Do you feel that that could hinder you going forwards? But no, they asked a poignant question of, do you feel Arsenal targeted Rodri? How does that work? Another thing with the media standards within England, and I'm not meaning to rant every time I do one of these, don't worry. We will get some more fun topics. But another thing with the media in England that I have to ask, and I have to get this addressed, is why is there a lack of tactical detail in the press conferences? Whether it's Pep, whether it's Ange, whether it's Arteta, whether it's whoever, the questions are always horrendous. Arteta even commented on it the other day. He said, "You haven't asked me one tactical question today," and walked out of the press conference. But it's not even about that. For example, City have been using a back four, maybe bringing in Kyle Walker and Rico Lewis on occasion, but a back four of centre-backs mostly for the last 2 years. They have now started employing proper wingers, as in, you've seen this season Doku and Silvinho, whatever his name is, played against Arsenal. I was at the City game against Watford the other day. A bit of a joke in terms of a goal that was disallowed in that game, but they're playing actual wingers who can beat a man. Now, that seemingly is the answer to these defenders playing fullback. That'll be the evolution, don't get me wrong. But no media outlet is saying, "Pep, why have you started investing in wingers that can beat a man and add a bit of pace to the team or add a different dimension?" As opposed to in the past when Bernardo Silva would play out there, or you'd have Kevin De Bruyne as a wide playmaker doing his little cross going through, or whatever. More like, for example, yesterday with Arsenal, we had 2 left-footed centre-backs. Now, an easy tactical question you could ask is, what is the difference? I know you had to rotate at Mikel, but what is the difference between having your standard pairing of a right-back and left-footed player versus the 2 left-footed centre-backs that you played today in Calafiori and Kivior? Does that impact the lineup? Does that impact the way that the team's going to receive the ball going forward? Does that impact the transitions? Does that impact playing out from the back? We know that Kivior is not necessarily the best on his weak foot. Why have you chosen for him to be on the right-hand side of the centre-back pairing? That sort of question should be the questions that's asked in the media. But instead, it's headline responses. They try and get a reaction or invoke a reaction with standard boring questions to get headlines. And it doesn't seem right to me. In the media, they're in a position where they could articulate some better questions. That's all I'm saying. And it happens in the lower leagues as well. Lots of things is like, for example, why is Southampton insistent on playing a low block and trying to play it out from the back? Because it's led to them having individual errors. Well, it's a simple answer. Just use your noggin. Teams use these playing out from the back so they can bring the team closer to their goal, meaning there's more goal in their attacking third, more space in their attacking third behind the defence, meaning you stretch play and you constantly play on the transition in counter-attacks that are to your ability. You can control the tempo of the game. Do media outlets ever ask or use that noggin and say, "Hi to the lower league boss. We understand you're using the low block, the passing out from the back to try and create space in behind. However, what makes it outweigh the risks that you're taking with obviously individual errors in the system?" They don't ever ask a question like that. They just say, "Oh, is it time to change your style?" Or, "Oh." And also you've got to consider with, like, for example, Southampton, their team has been built, obviously playing out from the back in the Championship. The players, clearly, as much as they might not be the Premier League ability, there's going to naturally be mistakes. The players are built to play that style of football in terms of how they've been trained for years. So the drop-off, if you started trying to play it where who fit out, it's not even about mentality or the coach trying to change his methods. That's more about what the players are suited to. Surely it's going to be better to play a style the players are suited to in terms of playing out from the back against teams that are better than them already than a style that they're not suited to, because then they'll be at a disadvantage of playing a style where the players aren't suited to it and also being a worse team. If that makes sense? Does that make sense? So, like, for example, the style could be like a B level style and a circle shape. But if you try and play an A level style, but the players are a C in terms of the shape, say, for example, they're a square, the square isn't going to fit into the style of the circle no matter what, so you're not going to be able to generate that performance. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm talking in riddles, but that's probably the end of the dog walk video. I'm sat here in my house. Ottie's here, just chilling, having a little sleep. Wet is out on her head. But yeah, I'll be back to work soon. I hope you've enjoyed. Just a bit of rambling, to be honest. Please be sure to like and subscribe as always. See you next time. Goodbye.